So welcome to the webinar on using dictation and text-to-speech software for dyslexics. Before we go any more, I just need to make this declaration. The webinar is based on my own personal views and experiences. I will be talking about products that I found useful in myself and I use on a day-to-day basis. I have to make it very clear that Claro software have supported this webinar. And I will be talking more about Claro later. So what are we going to talk about this evening? Well, this afternoon even. So this afternoon I'm going to talk about a bit about myself so you know who I am, what I do, my experiences. We're then just going to look at dyslexia and we're going to look at what difficulties dyslexics have. We're then going to just look at dictation and the types of software and hardware that's out there for dictation. We're also going to look at text-to-speech and then what's in the marketplace currently for text-to-speech, and we're going to look into more detail of Claro software. I'm then going to just talk about quick about the context of using these bits of product, these products and this software and this technology in the workplace, in education and at home. And I'm just going to give you some tips about using the products I'm talking about. So a little bit about me, if you don't already know who I am. My name's Aaron Smith. I am dyslexic myself. I'm quite severely dyslexic. I've worked in the field of dyslexia and been a volunteer in the field of dyslexia for over 10 years. I love technology. I'm a bit of a fan of technology. I have technology all over my desk quite now, and I quite enjoy using technology. I found out I was dyslexic when I was in year 4. I was about 8 years old, and I didn't have the best time. There was good and bad times through my schooling of dyslexia. I had a statement of education, so I got my statement in year 6, which is UK statement, which is now called the Education, Health and Care Plan. I didn't have a good time at high school. I didn't really understand my dyslexia. I spent a lot of my time in the vice principal's office, mainly because I wanted to play with this computer. When I moved to upper school, the Senko there said to me, "You are the most severely dyslexic person we've seen, and we're going to support you." So that's what they did. So over my life, the most important thing in my life is the Leicestershire Dyslexia Association here in the UK. The Leicestershire Dyslexia Association is a charity based in Leicester that supports people with dyslexia, and we run an after-school workshop on a Saturday morning that I started there when I was 9. I've been going there for 20 odd years. I'm now chairman of the group. Over my working life, I've worked in business and in retail. In 2009, I got my BDA Young Achievers Awards for my work within Leicester. I did some consultancy work for a number of charities, mainly around events. I ran a training company on awareness of dyslexia for the not-for-profit sector for the British Dyslexia Association. I then decided to join the BDA Management Board to change the attitudes of dyslexia. With life changes, employment not going the way it should be, I actually then joined the BDA Management, joined the BDA staff team and was the Membership Development Officer for the past 5.5 years. As of April this year, I set up my education consultancy business. So let's talk about using dictation and text-to-speech to support people with dyslexia. So hopefully most people know what dyslexia is. Now I'm going to look at some key areas of difficulties with dyslexia. So reading is definitely one of them, spelling is one of them, memory is one of them, and writing is one of them. So when we think about dyslexia, a lot of people think that it's just reading and writing or just reading and spelling. Memory is a big part of dyslexia. Now we know dyslexia is bigger than that. So dyslexia is bigger than that. We know that lots of people with dyslexia have more difficulties. They may have difficulties with handwriting, coordination. They may have difficulties with visual stress. They may have rapid naming difficulties. They may have B and D confusion, or P and Q confusion. There's a lot bigger aspect, but I'm concentrating on them 4 aspects to talk about today's talk because they're the areas that I'm trying to help you support with. So, as I said, we're going to look at spelling, memory and writing in the first instance. I don't know why it's done that, but that's what it's done. So, when you look at dictation, these are the things that are currently out there that are internet-based. So you've got Siri, Cortana, Google and Dragon. Now, so basically all these products do specific things. So for starters, they're all web-based. So you need to be connected to a internet connection for them to work, because what they do is they record a file, they send the file up, and then they send it back down into text. So the actual conversion is not done on the local device. So for those who don't know, Siri is on an Apple device. It is built into what we call iOS. It is also going to be built into the new version of macOS, which comes out in what they call the fall, so in the autumn. Cortana was first on Windows Mobile. It's now moved to Windows 10. Again, it uses the internet. It records what you're saying and tries to find what you're saying and converts it to text. Google has its own system. It's built into Android as well. It's also built into Google search facilities to use your microphone. Again, it will send it to an engine and then convert it. I've put Dragon down there because I'm going to talk more about Dragon itself as a product, but Dragon has an app that's based, that I know definitely on an Apple device, and you can use that to support people as well. So it's just another way of doing it. So that's the internet-based things. Now, some of the things you need to remember about them: you must have an internet connection. One of the other things you need to remember is that with some of these people, they do keep your recordings. So Siri is definitely one of them. If you use Siri, everything that you say to Siri is recorded on the Apple servers. Unfortunately, that is an Apple policy and it's in your terms and conditions. Personally, I don't have a problem with it because it works for me, and that's the most important thing, that it works. So when we look at a computer-based product, we're going to look at Dragon. So Dragon, actually speaking, is the PC version. We're on now what we call, you can still get Dragon Professional, you can still get Dragon 13, but new ones who make Dragon have now moved to Dragon Individual, which is their most up-to-date version. I'm going to show you Dragon 13 because that's the version I'm running at the moment. So what is Dragon, actually speaking? So as I said, it's the PC version. Dragon Dictate is the Mac version. What is it designed for? So what was Dragon designed for? Because when actually it was designed, it wasn't designed for dyslexic people. It was actually designed as a productivity tool. It was designed to help people within the medical profession to get notes down quickly, secretaries to get notes down for their managers, and it was also designed to help with things like RSI. And basically the dyslexia users kind of like been a third kind of marketplace that it's used into. So education is kind of like a growing market for it. So what do we use it for? So we use it because it helps with spelling. So thinking about them 4 things that I said, which was spelling, writing and memory, Dragon is very beneficial because you can think about using them products to do it. So some of the top features that I'm going to show you, I'm going to demonstrate Dragon to you. I'm going to demonstrate what it does. I'm going to show you some top features. So the top feature is always dictations. Dictation's very good. Commands are really good. I'm going to show you what commands are. Control is another way of using Dragon, because if you're someone that has physical difficulties, you can also use Dragon to control your computer. And I'm going to show you another part of the dictation, which is actually the transcription side. And they're the 4 things we're going to look at today. So a very brief overview of it. So what I'm just going to bring in across my Dragon bar. So this is the Dragon bar here. Hopefully you can all see that. So this is the Dragon bar. I'm just going to turn it off. So this is the Dragon bar. As you can see, you've got Dragon bar, profile, tools, vocabulary, audio and help. And I'm going to concentrate mainly on the big red button here. So I'm just going to open a Word document, normally, manually. And in a second, I'll just bring my Word document over so you can see it. So this is my Word document here. I'm just going to make this a bit bigger so we can see it. And I'm just going to press this here. And I'm going to start dictating, full stop. New line. And as you can see, what I'm dictating is being typed up on the screen. Full stop. New paragraph. I am using a few commands like full stop, new paragraph, as well as using commands like caps, Aaron, caps, Smith. For some reason it has dictated the word caps, but it should not have. So there it has used the word blue for some reason. Full stop. Microphone off.
Microphone off.
So as you can see, there is still things that are actually a few mistakes it does make. It is all about what you're thinking about, what you're saying. So as you can see there, I've used some commands. I'm using like new line, new paragraph. I've tried to use the cap command, but it's come up wrong, but it has actually put my name with capital letters. And for some reason, the cap has stayed on for the word blue, even though I didn't say the word blue. So there is always going to be some inaccuracies, just because it may be the way you're speaking, it may be the position of your microphone, it also may be the environment you're in. But one of the things you need to remember is that the more you use it, the better it is. If you take it, when I took this out of the box and installed it the first time on the computer, the Aaron would not come out like my name is spelt. It would come out A-A-R-O-N. Just bear with me 1 second. Thank you. Right, as you can see there, we are moving forward on using some of the commands. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the shortcut on the keyboard, which is the plus sign on your keyboard, and it has started now dictating. So new paragraph. When you dictate, you need to remember to use punctuation. So you can use punctuation like full stop, exclamation mark, question mark, open bracket, close bracket, speech marks, speech mark, and you see some of them don't actually work. Pound sign. So some of them do work, some of them don't work. You have to get the right terminology. And there's some of the things you need to think about whenever you use it. Full stop. So now I'm going to talk a bit about the commands. Save document. Click on save. Click save. Now unfortunately, the one thing that Dragon, I haven't worked out how Dragon to do is, I haven't worked out how to get it to do this properly. So I'm just going to help it along so you can see it.
Please say that again.
Aaron's document. Aaron's document. Click save. Click on documents.
Please say that again.
Click documents. Click save. Microphone off.
Microphone off.
So as I've used some of the technology, you can hear Clara running in the background because it is reading out some of the comments that I'm saying. So what that has done is that has saved the document. So it has used some of the commands. I wanted to show you this command. I have put commands in there, so you can put your own commands in, and you can put things in like my address, my company, my SEN. You can do lots of things you can do with commands. So I actually have my address saved in here, so you can actually use it to do commands. Now one of the things I did say in there is the control of your computer. So I can do this. Close Microsoft Word. Close Microsoft Word. Click close. Do not save.
Please say that again.
Click do not save. Click do not save. As of course, whenever you demo in it, it doesn't want to work. But if I say open Microsoft Excel, open Microsoft Word, it is actually now doing as I'm asking it to.
Please say that again.
Click on blank document. Click blank document. Start dictating my name. Select document. Change font. Select font. Delete.
Please say that again.
Delete. Delete, delete. Delete you. Delete change. Go to sleep.
Go to sleep.
When you say it go to sleep, it will actually go to sleep. If you say wake up, it's meant to wake up. As of course, whenever you demo it, it doesn't want to work format, which is naturally thing that always computers do. I kind of go with what I use, and that is the shortcuts. Now, one of the things that I did say that I'd do is show you how it transcribes. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make it so it doesn't dictate anymore. I'm going to close this document. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open something here. I've got a voice recorder that I'm using. I'm using an Olympus voice recorder because that's the one I have. I'm going to go into the vocab, I'm going to go into the tools, and I'm going to click on this transcribing app. And what happens is this comes up. So I'm going to click next. And pull this over so you can see it. One second here. Does not want to move. Here it is. There it is. There it is. So this is a transcribing. I'm going to click browse location. So I've got this coming off my it says Kodak because that's the card that's in there. So I'm going to go to file C because I know that. I'm going to open this file up and transcribe. Now what you can't see is I'm just going to move over. It's opened up Dragon Pad and it's starting to transcribe it. As you can see, I've put there's a couple of paragraphs, there's a couple of full stops. It says there using my voice recorder to show transcription software built into Dragon Naturally Speaking, working 5, so I probably said working fine on Dictation on my Olympus voice recorder, and testing out this part. Let's hope it transcribes okay. Full stop. Thank you. So it kind of did transcribe. It's got one mistake in there, and that's probably the way that I said it. And again, you see it's all about what you say and how you say it. And that's basically the very basic of what Dragon does. So Dragon does that dictation, does that command, does that control. You can do other things like using it to operate your mouse. You can use it. There's a lot more functionality within Dragon, but they're kind of the 4 top functionalities that I use it for as a dyslexic. So what I'm just going to do, I'm just going to not save that, and I'm just going to exit out of Dragon. One of the things that Dragon does do that you can't see, I'll just show you very quickly. It basically gives you this message: do you want to perform maintenance? I would normally say yes, but for this situation I'm going to say no. So I'm just going to go back to the presentation I am, so you can just see where we are. So we've gone through the dictation, we've gone through the commands, we've gone through the control, and we've gone through transcription, and I've kind of done the demo on that. So now let's look at some of the difficulties. So let's look at the difficulties of reading, spelling, and memory. Now you can see that with the writing, spelling, and memory, you've kind of covered them within Dragon, but we're now going to really concentrate on that reading element, but also that spelling and memory. And I hope that you can see that using Dragon can help you with memory as well, but I'll talk a bit more about that later on. So TTS or text-to-speech, this is what is out there already, so this is one of the products out there. So we have Read and Write Gold from TextHelp, Splint Plus from Jabla, and of course Clara Software, Clara Read from Clara Software. So these are kind of like the products that are out there that are paid for products. There's many free products that are out there, of course. Now I have used all 3 of these products. For me, Clara is the one that I get on well with. I've used it very well. Read and Write Gold is very good. I do like the product. I think Sprint Plus is really good as well. Sprint Plus is very simple. It's very easy to use. There's only one button. TextHelp Read and Write Gold has got a lot of functionality, a lot of features, lots of different ways of using that product, but really it's really useful. I think that's got some really good functionality in, especially for highlighting and collating work and doing biographies and bibliographies, so forth. Sprint Plus is very simple, very easy to use, as I said, and Clara Software and the Clara Read product is what I use. So I'm going to go into a bit more detail about Clara Read and what I find useful about it. So Clara Read is very easy to use. It's very used in most mainstream applications, and it helps people to focus. So that's the Clara Read Pro toolbar, and that's the one that I'm going to be showing you because that's the version I'm using at the moment. So one of the benefits of Clara Read Pro is it does scan, does OCR, so it can convert a PDF, a scanned document, and convert it into an accessible format, and also use it so you can actually listen to it. I found that very useful. I'm doing a piece of work for a charity, and their constitution is about 10 years old, and it has never been typed on a computer. It was typed on a typewriter. So I scanned it in, used Clara Read, and it basically converted it into a Word document so I could listen to it. So these are what's out there at the moment. So you've got Claro Pro. Claro Pro is there. And Claro Pro is only for Windows. It has the advantage of proofreading PDFs, it says. Claro Plus, with the opportunities there, and that's also available on thing. Claro Standard has no COCR, and Claro SE is just that toolbar there. So the toolbar you see there is just what Claro is, and that is basically you can get them for Windows and for Mac. So let's just do a quick demo of what this is. Something. Just going to bring my Claro toolbar over. So this is my Claro toolbar, as you can see. It's a Pro toolbar. So one of the benefits of this is that you can use it to read things. So I'm going to just bring over a web page. I've got a Wikipedia page open about dyslexia, and I'm just going to highlight this Wikipedia page. And
dyslexia, also known as reading disorder, is characterized by trouble with reading despite normal intelligence. 1. Different people are affected to varying degrees. 2. Problems may include difficulties in spelling words, reading quick.
Can I just check that everyone heard that okay by you putting your hands up? That's brilliant. Thank you very much. That's good. Hopefully you can hear that. That's brilliant. Thank you very much for that. So basically that is the software being used. That is it reading it out. Now that might be a bit fast for some of you. That's the kind of speed that I like it, because I'm a bit of an auditory learner and I work quite well. And that's one of the benefits of it. Now what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to find that document that I just saved. I'm just going to open it up. And I'm going to now use Claro to read it.
Same to start dictating. And as you can see, what I'm dictating is being typed up on the screen. I'm using a few commands like, as well as using commands like caps R and caps Smith. For some reason is dictated blue should not have, so that has used the word blue the sum.
So basically there, as you can see, it's doing some kind of highlighting when I've pressed the play button. Now one of the other things about it is this. So if I highlight the word, let's highlight if I highlight the word commands and I look at the spell check. The spell check comes here. And basically if I hover over
an authoritative direction or instruction to do something.
It basically has read out the actual one of the actual
file : / C : /
sorry. It's read out one of the things about commands of what it is. So one of the things here will read out the spellings. So,
line down, orders, verb.
So
controls, verb.
It basically gives me opportunities. So it means here you can read
file : / commands. Exercise authoritative control or power over.
So basically what it's done is it's the spell check has been one of the benefits of it that it reads it out. And that's one of the good things about Claro Pro. So one of the other things that I really like about it, I've mentioned the scanning opportunity, but I won't show you that one.
Commands.
It's basically this functionality here. So you can save it to audio. So I can highlight this document, save it as an audio. I can put that on a CD and put it into my car, save it as an MP3, put it on a memory stick or a USB stick, and put this into the computer. So you can use this product put this into your MP3 player or into your car stereo, so you can use it so you can listen along. So when I've got big documents, I use the product to actually convert them documents and listen to it. So it's very good for emails. That's what I mainly use it for. Some of the things that the settings you need to see about it is here. So I've clicked on the settings. You've got the speed of how fast you want it. I have it quite fast, you see. Maybe click
this is a test of the current voice.
You see it's getting faster. I'll put it there.
This is a test of the current voice.
That's the fastest it goes. This is the slowest.
This is a test of the current voice.
So I had it about there that works. I've got the volume quite high. You can buy extra voices. I use Daniel. Daniel is the voice that I've got on with and I work well with. Of course you can change things like the view. I have it. This is the view of the control bar and so forth. Different options you've got here. The advanced speech options I normally look at. So I have it set, I can have it set for words on cursors, echo, drag and input as well. And as you can see here, I've got it set to highlight sentences, but I can have it highlight words, trail words, and so you can change the foreground and background colours. So I just have it on blue text because that's how that works for me. Now one of the things that I quite like about it, if I'm going to just go here and press enter, I'm going to put you can get it to actually read out the single words. I'm just going to go back into here, so I'm going to the advanced things, words. Okay.
Hello. 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 My
I'm just going to do this because it's easier.
name is MR. MR.
As you can see,
Smith.
it doesn't actually use, it doesn't have every bit of vocabulary. One of the things is live and live. It always reads it out as live rather than live, but it's still beneficial. Now, one of the things I can see this is very useful is you can be an independent learner. You can put your headphones on, you can hear it. So that's kind of what both of these products do. They do make it independent learners. So I found ClaraRead to be very beneficial. It's got a lot more added functionality in. One of the other benefits about it is that when you use, I'm going to close it so we can carry on. I'm going to close this and go back to the talk. Just save that. So the Claro Pro version is the one that I use, and it's got the advanced proofing and PDF creation tool, and that's quite key if you're making a lot of documents. Claro Plus is for Mac. Standard is the standard version, and the SE version is one I really quite like, and that's the toolbar for standard version. Now, if you are a teacher and you are teaching people within the age, GCSE age, when you think about it, you can use a computer reader rather than a human reader. They have to use it though in their general time. This is the one you would use. You would use Claro SE because it doesn't have the spell check, and that's one of the things it is. So when we look at context, we're going to look at things like education. So how do we use Dragon and dictation concept in education, and how do we use then text-to-speech and Claro in dictation? So in the context of education. So if we take the situation that I had with Dragon, we deployed this in a school down in the Bracknell area, and I sat with the Senko and the specialist teacher, and we brought a lad in. This lad was, the best way is he's known as the troublemaker is the best way to describe him. He doesn't get on very well in class. He is quite severely dyslexic, and he's quite unable to articulate through written work what he wants to say. Verbally, he can say a lot of things and get a lot of information out of it. And if you look at it just on the verbal ability, it's a lot higher than the rest of his peers. So we let him use Dragon. Excuse me there. Let him use Dragon for the first time, and I've never seen someone light up so much because he was able to be now a bit more independent. He could get his thoughts down. So that thinking about that memory issue, that spelling issue, that writing issue. So when you are handwriting and when you are writing on paper, from a dyslexic point of view, a dyslexic is thinking, okay, how do I spell this word? I've got to draw this letter like this and so forth. What Dragon allows you to dictate, get your thoughts from your head straight on something. So there is a blog that I've written about this, about ClaraRead, that will be coming out at the end of the week, and that will have some context around that kind of concept. That is all done using Dragon. So the other thing about then ClaraRead in education, so if you've got someone that is mildly dyslexic and needs a bit of help with reading, is quite auditable, they can learn, they can read, but they need a little bit of support. What Claro can do is Claro can help them proofread, which is a brilliant way of using it. It can also help them digest content. And that's the best thing about it, is that digesting content using that is very useful. So when I did my degree a couple of years ago, I used ClaraRead to read the web pages, and then I could write my notes down, or I could then listen to it and I could dictate my notes or so forth. It's a very well usable thing. So let's now think about the workplace. So emails. Emails are a big problem. You can see there that I've had, 50 emails today across all my inboxes, and I had to do a report for someone because they wanted information from me. So I use Dragon on that. I use ClaraRead on that. I did also use other software like MindView because that's what I was doing the reporting. But Without them two pieces of software, I couldn't create the piece of work and I couldn't check the piece of work. On top of that, I then use Dragon in my email to send the email, and I also use Clara Read to check it. I also use Clara Read to listen to it. Home. I think they're brilliant at home. So my time and my life, I spent a lot of time shouting, "Mum, how do I spell this?" My sister, "How do you spell this?" That's what I used to say. Now what this does here is this means that you're using these two pieces of software either together or individually, because you can use them individually. You can then help them to be independent. When you think of it, if you think of it as let's look at a dyslexic child, someone that has got low ability, so that means their self-esteem is low, their emotional aspect of dyslexia is very low. Making them be a little bit more independent will build up their self-confidence and build up their ability to use the technology correctly. I think also using something like Clara Read, because you are using it and you can follow it with the highlighting, it also can assist with reading because it helps you to track and has that tracking kind of ability. So let's just look at these tips here. I've got some tips here for people to think about it. So using Dragon, practice. One of the big things that everyone says to me, Dragon didn't work for me. And I went, which version did you use? I used it about 5 years ago. Well, I thought, okay, use the newer version. So I used Dragon 11 last year. This little story. I used Dragon 11 last year. Another colleague of mine, someone that I knew who has a very strong northern accent, worse than my Leicester accent, he couldn't get Dragon to work for him on his laptop. So I said, well, use my laptop and use my Dragon. And we just opened my current profile and he basically dictated with it there and then. No training needed. But practice and using it and training it is one of the most beneficial things. So I've just found a word that the Dragon doesn't have in it, that's Senko. So I've put that word into Dragon. Now when I say the word Senko, it actually spells it as I want it and not some strange word that it shouldn't come up with. Commands. Learn the commands. I am, as you can see, I'm a bit of a hypocrite. I know most of my commands. I know the commands that I want to use, and mainly for demo purposes. There's loads of commands. There's hundreds and thousands of commands Dragon will do, and it will give you help and tips of how to use it. Be patient with it. When you're dyslexic, you can get frustrated. So using this product, it is very beneficial and it can really, really change someone's life. But what you need to do is be patient with it because it may not always work. As I've proven today, I've made mistakes with it because it's not worked for me whenever I'm dictating. Maybe because I have a bit of a sore throat and my voice doesn't sound the same as normal, or it may be that my microphone was a bit in the wrong place. So that is the thing about it. So Claro software, I would recommend always to use headphones. Currently I don't because I'm in an office on my own so I can have it read out loud. Speed is also something else you need to think about. So I showed you how to change the speed. I would definitely recommend playing around with the speed and making sure it's the right speed for you and the right speed or the right speed for that dyslexic so they can process. Voice is very important. It is. Thinking about voice and thinking about what voice you want to use. The benefit of Clara is you can get other voices, and that is very useful. So if we just look back at this, dyslexia, and these 4 key areas I talked about. I talked about reading, talked about spelling, talked about memory, and talked about writing. So as you can see, there is a big overlap with these 2 products to help with all these areas. Memory and writing, definitely Dragon is the key. Dragon can help you with memory, as I said, getting information out from your brain onto something that is more concrete, because that means it's not in your working memories, it's come out. Writing. Handwriting for me is a difficulty. I'm playing around with new technology otherwise to look at handwriting, and I will be doing a blog about that later on over the next couple of weeks. But handwriting for me, I can't read my own writing. One, because my spelling's quite poor, but also my handwriting is very untidy. So using Dragon enables me to, instead of writing a two-line document, it allows me to write a two-paragraph document. Writing and reading and spelling, as you can see, both Dragon are there. So the thing about it is that it is very beneficial for everyone to listen to use the products in their days, because it can help with them difficulties. So I've kind of gone over everything on the webinar today I wanted to. So I'd like to thank you all for listening. I know that the webinar said it would go on till 6 o'clock. It won't go on till 6 o'clock. It's just on there for that. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to stop the recording now. So thank you very much for listening.